Today we have a 2006 Chevrolet HHR. The stereo was sent over to the shop last week because the complaint was the stereo was dead. It was bench tested and we found no problem with the stereo, so they've brought it back the vehicle to us today so that we can troubleshoot the video. We have plugged this in. We're going to go through how this is removed, but first we just plugged this in for testing. We found the tweeters up in the pillars are working, but the rest of the speakers are not. But that's some troubleshooting we're going to do here in a little bit. And we're going to disconnect the stereo right now because we just put it back in the dash for testing purposes. But we're going to go through the steps it takes to remove this stereo when it's put in its original position here. We're going to start with down here around at the center console and gently pry the metal trim ring up from around the gear shift and bring that up. Next we're going to start by prying one of the edges of the panel up from around the lower portion of the dash. This will clips release when prying. And that removes that panel. Next we're going to insert the key, set the parking brake, shift to a lower gear, and move to our 7mm nut driver and remove a screw here on the right. A screw here on the left. Next we're going to pry the next trim ring up from around the dash. That'll come back. We're going to lift it up over the gear shift. We can move this panel to the side or remove this connector. This connector has a little trigger in the center of it that we're going to squeeze down into the connector and remove. These connectors are all keyed, so they only go back to one spot. You don't have to mark them or anything, but the trigger is right here on the top, and when you squeeze that down into the connector, it releases the lock. Next we're going to pull the bottom panel up away from the dash, and this will release the whole entire panel across the face of the stereo. We happen to have on this particular panel the passenger airbag light. Now do not, again I repeat, do not disconnect this connector with the ignition on. So we're going to move back. So we're going to remove the bottom connector that goes to the wipers, the rear wipers it looks like, and the trigger on the cigarette lighter, which is at the bottom, and release that. And we're going to turn this panel upside down and place it up on the dash here and hold this in place while we move to the AC controls. The AC controls have two screws on the right. The reason for removing the AC controls is this top panel here up here on the right, where this just above this screw, this panel goes over the face of the car stereo, so the car stereo is not coming out till the AC control moves here. We're going to remove the lower left screw of the AC control. Remove the upper left screw. And we're just going to pull this panel forward towards the forward and down, and this will allow us to put the stereo in place. Now the stereo has several connectors. One is the antenna connector, and to remove this connector you grab the black base around the bottom and just remove it from the stereo. The other two main connectors have little triggers on top that you push down. On some occasions we see a little red tab that can be on the back of these connectors, and the red tab has to pull back to allow you to be able to push the trigger down for access. But before you get to this step, There are 4 screws that hold this stereo in place. The wires all have to be lined up with the openings in the dash. And there you go. The stereo is held into place by 2 screws on the left side here, and 2 screws on the right side as well. And the 2 screws on the right are here. The 2 screws on the left are over here. We are reinstalling this stereo, but this is how the original stereo is removed. We have other videos for other problems. The no volume or volume problem we had with this stereo with just the tweeters and the pillars working. We're going to take a look at that and see what we can do about that. Look for that video if you're having that problem as well. We have many more removal videos on our website. Please take a look at carstereohelp.com. If you have questions, many of them can be answered there. Email us or give us a call if you have further questions. Hope this video has been helpful. Thank you for watching.